All right. It's 6:02. We're going to call the monthly meeting of the Board of Health for the town of Northborough to order. For the requirement, as we are live streaming this thing, today is January 14th, 2025, and the time is 6:02. And my name is Dilip Jain, and I am the Vice Chair of the Board of Health. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair notes otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream or the recording of this meeting may do so by going to the Northborough Remote Meetings on the YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Each commission members, okay. I just have to call.
Yeah.
Right. Lisa Johnson,
Here.
Teresa Bianco,
Present.
and Dilip Jain, present. Do I need to call the staff too?
Perfect. Well, thank you. So it is nice to see you all. Happy New Year. I'm very excited to have some new staff with us today. So I'll let them kind of do their own introductions. Michaela, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Michaela Petty. I am the new regional epidemiologist and shared service coordinator for the Greater Boroughs Partnership for Health. Started in November. I have an MPH in epidemiology from Boston University. Moved here for that, and that's about it.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Chris. I'm one of the new health agents. I'm coming from Natick. I was an environmental health agent for a few years. And my focus will be kind of doing on the Title V work for both Northborough and Southborough. So I can work between both towns. Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so almost fully staffed. Other exciting news, we do have our full-time social worker. Her name's Caitlin. She is starting at the end of the month in 2 weeks. So she comes from, she's currently a community resource specialist at the affiliated pediatric practices. She got her master's of social work from Salem State. So we're really excited to have her join the team, able to offer more of that like crisis one-on-one counseling, but also doing more support groups and programming to better support our residents' mental health and other problems that arise.
Great.
So
with her, are we fully staffed?
So we have one full-time nurse position through the Greater Boroughs Partnership for Health, but as for like town funding, we are fully staffed, which is very exciting. So the nurse would just be added capacity. So I guess with that, Chris, I'll let you take it away.
All right, so we have Vito from Cornerstone here. He is requesting some local upgrade approvals and some variance requests for 6 Hillside Road. You want to? Yeah.
Vito Colon with Cornerstone. Landing on this spring over so you can see it.
That's fine.
So this one, it's a very small lot. It's 3,700 square feet. It's right on Smith Pond. It's a little neighborhood. They're all small lots. So it's very tight together. So this red one, this is their existing septic system. The red is the property lines. So they have a leach pit that was failing. And they need to replace it. So we're planning to replace it in front of the lot where the most area is. We did have restrictions with property lines, the pond to the back, and then 2 abutting wells, one here and one here. This lot had a well on it that we could not find. It was in the front yard. So they're planning to abandon that well and bring in a water service. There is public water right down at the intersection, maybe 100 feet away or so. So they're gonna bring in water service for that lot to get rid of the well. So we need a lot of relief because of how tight it is. So they're looking for reduced setbacks to property lines, to the foundation, to the pond in the back, and to the 2 abutting wells. And also to the new water line that's going in. So for the new water line as it comes in, they'll put a sleeve over it So it would be sleeved as it goes by, and then there's also a poly barrier between the leach field here and the water line. So trying to protect that, and then as far as the setbacks, for those go, usually you want to keep at least 5 feet. So we kept 5, the regulations prefer 10, that's usually the minimum. But you can go down to, reduce it down. Once you get below 5, you need a surveyor to verify everything. So we kept at least 5 feet to all the property lines. And then I guess one of the bigger concerns usually is the wells here and here. Under the Title V local upgrades, you can get as close as 50 feet. With a local upgrade, both of them we have 67 feet, I think, and 88 feet allowed. This house has a septic system right to the side of the house. So their well is closer to their own septic than this new one. We did notify both the abutters and sent them a letter with the plans explaining what was going on. Yes, if no one shut up, they didn't voice any concerns. So those are really the, kind of stuck with the size of the lot, trying to make the best out of it if we can. At least the soils were really good. It was good sand and gravel, so it was really permeable. So we could shrink the footprint as small as we possibly could. That's a 10 scale plan, so it's blown up a lot, but it's pretty small. And right now we're in the process of redoing the house. I don't know when you went by the other day, and the house is all gutted right now. So in the process of that, they went through conservation, and got approvals through there. I know there was some issues with conservation currently, but they're trying to resolve those also. So
It cannot go in the back.
no, just as we get closer to the pond itself. So right here, we don't really have enough space on the side of the house
Mhm.
to fit it. The only spot would be kind of right back in here, but then it's so close to the pond. Really didn't want to get that tight to it.
So you're still inside the 100-foot buffer,
Yeah, we're still in the 100-foot buffer, so the 50
but
foot.
you're sitting between the 50.
Yeah, the 50 is right here,
Yeah.
and the 100 is right
Okay.
there. So we tried to split a balance between all the setbacks.
Yeah.
We're in all of them, we don't get out of any of the setbacks, but we're kind of in the middle of all of them, kind of trying to balance them all. Sort of evenly. Between them all.
So they're gonna be getting town water. These two abutters are not considering town water at the moment.
They didn't know. No one really talked to them about that option. Because it's available if they do want it, but they'd have to bring that up the street to get it.
Does the owner bring the water down the road? So
Yeah.
that water main will be private to them?
And it's just a service, so it's only an inch and a half or 2 inch, might be a 2 inch. But the main is right, I think it's right about here.
Is this Lawrence Street up here?
Yeah, Lawrence is down, and then where Hillside comes up, then it splits left and right, and that split, that's where the water ends. It kind of, I
Okay.
think it goes to.
But that's some of that.
Yeah, that's for some, just looking at the.
Yeah, so water, so if you look on the map, the water is right here, it kind of comes up and goes that way a little bit. I'm not sure how far down it goes.
So then from here, it's gonna be a private line
Yeah,
coming to their house, basically.
yeah,
And it seems like you tried to do this just as smooth as possible. You know, just sort of spread out the love.
yeah. Yeah, and there's some successful back.
Which they're still using.
They're still using those.
Awesome.
Eventually those will have to, someday those will have to get replaced, and I'm not sure how that.
Another meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So the leach field's gonna be underneath the driveway.
Yeah.
Better take good care of it, I'm gonna stick with the driveway as well.
I don't know, it's something right there.
Yeah, and we did a concrete galley for the system, so it's under the driveway, it's H20 loaded, so it can take trucks, any kind of truck load.
Oh, right. Just, can I ask, Is there any concerns from you relative?
I think, is it, the homeowner's hands are tied with just how small the lot is, so I think this is overall a great improvement just from the cesspit they're currently using. So I think we have struck a good balance between all the setbacks, and I personally think it's a good plan. They're gonna be restricted, obviously, by the lot size, and as well as they have a deed restriction on 2 bedrooms, so basically they will have to keep the house at that size, and can't go beyond that. That system is, that's about as big a system as you could possibly do.
Is this the original owner of the house?
They just bought it, so there's a new owner that just came in.
Okay,
I forgot to mention that, yeah, they did do a deed restriction, so I don't know if it's recorded yet, but that gets recorded at the registry.
Yep.
So from here on out, it's always a 2-bedroom house, from here on out. I don't know if they did record it or not. Should make sure they do that.
And with the deed restriction, they would not be allowed to do an accessory dwelling unit, right? Because they've already got their 2 bedrooms.
Yeah, if that had a bedroom in it, you couldn't do it.
Okay.
I don't know where they fit it.
Yeah.
But you never know, someone.
A raft.
Yeah, but people squeeze some small stuff.
Yeah.
yes, not much else you can do. All right, there's 8 things we have to get approved yet. Right?
You could do it in one.
I can all at one time, I don't know if I do it individually. Okay, great. For the property located at 6 Hillside Road, Northborough, they're seeking Title V local upgrade approvals. For 1, septic tank setback to property lines, required is 10 feet, proposed is 5.5 feet. Septic tank separation to foundation, required is 10 feet, proposed is 8.9 feet. Leach field setback to property lines, required is 10 feet, proposed is 5.1 feet. Leach field separation to foundation, required is 20 feet, proposed is 8 feet and 16.8 feet. Leach field separation to wells, 100 feet, presently 63 feet and 82 feet from the 2 abutting properties. Leach field separation to water surface, required is 10 feet, proposed is 8 feet. And then they're also requiring variances for the bylaws of the town of Northborough for leach field separation to wetlands. Required is 100 feet, proposed is 62 feet, and leach field setback to property lines, required is 10 feet, proposed is 5.1 feet. All those in favor?
You want to make a motion?
Oh, yes, I make a motion. I make a motion to approve the requested upgrades and variances.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All done.
Thank you for that.
Thank
That
you.
would be helpful to have you large effort. Appreciate it. Good luck.
All right. Nice to see you.
Nice seeing you.
Back to you.
All right, perfect. So before I go into Greater Boroughs updates, can you pass this out? We've been working on making our department a little bit more, the branding better and then more awareness. So this is our newest brochure of, our services and who we are, our mission statement. So I just wanted to pass it out to make sure that you were all aware of what we were up to. We're working on the website, we're working on a monthly newsletter as well, so we're really trying to get the word out. And we're also working with Northborough Cable to film a little 3-minute video. I know my staff probably don't like me, but the Northborough Cable is really trying to create these videos for departments, so just we can get the word out to residents of what we do, how we can help, and where they can find us.
To the home wellness check. What is that aimed at? Because I could that envision that for a lot of different things.
So right now, it's mostly focused at seniors, and it's like medicine management, making sure there's no fall risks. Sometimes it's more social, just sitting down and talking to them and figuring out what resources they need, as well as like calling their doctors to schedule appointments and things like that. But definitely we could expand. Is there anything like specific you were looking at too?
Not necessarily. not necessarily just. Like a few different times where I kind of wish I had some resource that I could contact and just say, hey, this is what's going on, what do you think?
Mhm. Yeah, no, I think we could totally expand it, and even, I feel like I was in a meeting recently and it's like, you get your doctor's note or your doctor's, my patient gateway, and you're like, how do I interpret this? So our nurses could also be helpful in doing that as well.
That's good.
And we typically get our referrals for that program through the senior center as well as the police and fire departments. So people who are, continuously calling or need other support. Right. So then our Greater Boroughs Partnership for Health, so that's our big grant through the Department of Public Health. So right now they're doing a huge kind of assessment of the foundational public health services. So each town who is part of the regional grant will have to be assessing their specific department for cost as well as services. So that's just an ongoing project that we'll be working on. Michaela will be helping us as well as the 4 other towns. Chris will be included in the Southborough side of things. So that's just an ongoing assessment, and we will be able to report back in the next few months, likely around April. Other updates, so we're continuing to contract with Salem VNA, so that's our nurses. So again, doing those home wellness checks. We're doing blood pressure clinics at the center as well as the housing authorities in Northborough. So that's been a great way to kind of get a different population, a vulnerable population. And then doing CPR and AED trainings, which they book within, I would say, days, which is great. So we cover the cost, the grant covers the cost of the trainer, and then residents pay the $30 for the certification part. So that's.
Most of public health nurse gets hired, we still be using the VNA?
So we're gonna, yes for now, but probably phase out
Okay.
as the years go on.
We're probably paying for the VNA to come in here.
Right. So ideally, once we have that full-time nurse, we would have like 1.6, 1.7 FTE of nurses.
Okay.
And then our goal for 2025 through the Greater Boroughs Partnership for Health Grant is to offer some maternal health, child and family classes through the library. So that is through Salem VNA. They have a maternal health nurse. So a prenatal class and a postnatal class. So those are some offerings that we're excited to host, and that would also meet the requirements of the foundational public health services because maternal health is a big priority. And then for the last 3 years, we've offered an internship to a master's public health student. So those applications are open for the summer. So Michaela and I have been thinking of some ideas, but also wanted to bring it to you all to see if you had any topic ideas that you would want to see. It's a great opportunity for an intern to work on a project that maybe we don't have capacity at the moment to do. So 3 years ago, it was about COVID and under 5 COVID vaccines. So Ariella interviewed the different pediatric doctors and tried to get the message out. She made a PSA. 2 years ago, Gabriella did a food resource guide, and then last year Rachel did a maternal health comprehensive resource guide. So thinking of different topics, if anyone has any ideas.
About misinformation and disinformation. If you can do something like so.
And that could feed into just health literacy as well.
Yes.
Really interesting topic, actually. Because my daughters are both big TikTok people, as you can imagine, being who they are. And sometimes the things they say to me, where did you hear that? And some of it is health oriented. And they, I'm trying to teach them how to actually research what the truth of those issues.
Same problems with my 14.
It's amazing. You believe anything you see.
Yeah, Michaela, we can definitely type up a little.
I was working on the drafts the other day. So
Yeah.
I mean, impact of social media, not just impact, but.
Yeah.
So that was one of our ideas, the impact of social media on mental health, but I think we could totally fit that in with social media, misinformation, just information in general.
most of the younger generation, that's where they get their information from. That's where they get it from. You know.
Why would you listen to your doctor, but you could go to
Yeah.
talk, right?
So,
Sounds
you know,
good.
it's scary
Yes.
Mhm.
to say the least.
And thinking about that project, what would be like a deliverable that you would maybe think of?
Videos.
Okay.
Yes. I would also like something for, as a parent,
Mhm.
I want something that would give me some
Mhm.
resources to teach my kids how to verify this type of information. You know, like just resources, a list of resources, you know.
You know, it's how to separate fact from fiction.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I think parents would be helpful to get that.
I don't even know, is there an algorithm that's like some standard based? You know, if this, then that, we'll have to.
Yeah.
figure something.
That may be a little harder with this different topics depending on what you want to cover. Maybe you wanna
Right,
cover
it's very
COVID
broad.
or flu or
Vaccines.
vaccinations.
Hear
and
more about
what's the
that.
pros and cons, you gotta get it from reliable, legitimate source as opposed to. You know, read off the news media.
I think it's also an interesting time with artificial intelligence. A lot of people, you
Oh my
know,
God.
type, you know,
Yeah.
what should I take or what do I do?
That's a big,
I like that. Awesome. Okay, so we'll write that up. We'll find out, I think, do you remember the timeline?
Deadline is February 7th for applications, I believe mid-February you find out, if you, which projects are selected, and then you get assigned May, your intern. Somewhere around that.
So hopefully we get one, if not, I think that's a project that we could also work on if we weren't a selected intern. Awesome, let's see, anything about greater boroughs that I'm missing? I know Michaela's been very busy trying to streamline processes and host some meetings, yeah.
Been in Canva a lot, making some social media posts, trying to build our presence. I think that's most of it. On the epi side of things, have been compiling some resources for pertussis, avian influenza, norovirus, kind of, and some just general respiratory.
And that being said, respiratory illnesses are definitely high right now, so again, trying to, you know, come up with information, but just so people are aware, and then following avian flu very closely, as is DPH and the CDC. Again, right now, the public health risk is low. But we're watching it. I think that is up, that's all for updates, yeah. Any other business?
I actually have a couple of questions. So the first one, do we know, what's going on with the hotel next to Peterson Oil? The gas station up there on Route 9?
They're in the process of renovating it.
Yeah.
It is going to be a higher brand, it's gonna be a Hilton product.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's not gonna be a Motel 6 or Come Watch.
Hyatt, right?
Hilton.
Okay.
They're just approved the septic or almost approved the septic. I forget exactly where
Yeah,
it
because
stood.
I know that the septic was an issue there and then
Yeah.
the.
Building hasn't, I know building's been involved, I haven't talked to the inspector. They've been working, so they do plan on reopening and they're under. They're close to, well, not close to opening, but they're doing a lot of work and they're right, made a lot.
Right, okay, cool. And the other property that I have a giant question mark, and you guys may not know, is the two Durgan houses on Route 20. Do we know what's going on with those?
Same thing, they're pretty much built and done, just waiting for some final approvals and stuff, and the septic systems are in approved, so I know. And
They're going to be single family homes or,
No.
they're suicide houses.
okay, both are gonna be solar homes.
Yeah.
I don't know details of how many residents or anything like that. I know they had taken a break for a while where they were trying to work out a variety of things, like something about the water service, or town water, a few things like that, so it did sit vacant, excuse me, for a little while.
Okay,
But now they've worked through whatever issues there were, I'm not as familiar with, but I know they're moving forward and getting closer.
okay, great, thank you.
The extension for what Treasure said was about the old Casa Vallarta. What's happening to that, and I hear a lot of stuff going on over there.
I drive by sporadically just to make sure that, I don't know what I'm making sure, but just to take a look at it. I did see someone taking something out once, but they still won't open. So it's not. I know that there have been calls about it, because someone's wanted to open something. We've given them the contact information, and nothing's gone with it. We did hear from the owners asking a few questions about it.
Mhm.
So,
The same.
and if you remember from our original meeting, they need to replace the septic.
Right.
So, that's some serious money to do that, plus obviously renovate the building, because I have a lot of issues too.
Was that the property where they came in front of us
Oh,
a
three
while
times,
ago?
three times, yeah.
And like it was like a couple million to do the upgrade or something?
Around $1 million
Okay.
for the septic
Right,
system,
right.
just the septic
The
system.
lady manager was never on site.
Right, right. Yeah.
But it was one of those opportunities that, you know, say building and fire and plumbing, electrical, had always had concerns about the building on every yearly inspection then. And then once this most recent issue happened, that we've all taken it as an opportunity to now need to redo this, get it fully up to code and no questions asked. So they have a lot of.
Yeah,
Do
that
they
building has to be done.
Yeah, oh, it absolutely does. Do they get periodic inspections now, even though it's supposed to be vacant, just because they have people living there illegally? No.
No.
That would
Living
be,
there.
that would be more beyond.
Yes. Yes, yeah, that's what I mean.
Maybe. Because I drive by them, the doors seem to be closed. I go in.
Yeah.
So to make sure that they're not doing anything that makes sense, but not, I haven't been trying to get in the building.
Yeah, they're not conducting that takeout business.
I'm sorry?
They're not conducting takeout business.
We drive to the back. Your lights off.
Yeah.
The operation itself did improve.
Okay. Anything else?
That's all I have.
No?
Thank
Okay.
you.
As all five of us were here last time, you know, for the meeting minutes, I think, because we have ready. I think we can include the meeting minutes from November.
Okay.
So, you know, you guys start to mention all that, and see if you have any comments.
You're recommending. So I'm playing.
Thanks.
Yes.
So, motion that we accept the meeting minutes for the Board of Health from November 12th, 2024 as recorded.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All done. And the tentative date is February 11th.
Perfect.
I will not be here.
Okay.
I'm leaving for anything that day,
Okay,
so.
all right, Jess will make sure we have a quorum and we'll communicate. Cool. That week, right?
All right. I'm glad I'm not here because the meeting didn't run full out.
I know.
It's always nice, it's a long time.
You're very,
Safe.
that's how it's meetings.
On schedule.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. Favor.